Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you, many kings and prophets have desired to see what you see, and have not seen it. To hear what you hear, and have not heard it. I thank you, Father, for hiding these things from the learned and the wise, and revealing them to the innocent and the simple.
Terrorists struck a Christian neighborhood in northern Pakistan today. 4 gunmen stormed the colony with bombs strapped to their chests and opened fire on any Christian they came across, killing at least 1. Local civilian guards immediately stepped in to stop the attack, preventing the gunmen from detonating most of their bombs. It's only one example of the violent persecution Pakistani Christians face living in a majority Muslim nation. Meanwhile, suicide bombers also attacked a district court in another town, murdering 12 people and wounding 50.
Dozens of protesters in Venezuela have been arrested after clashes with police in Caracas, the country's capital and largest city. It's unclear exactly how many people had been taken into custody. A peaceful protest took place on Thursday, calling for a referendum against the president Nicolas Maduro this year. The main event had ended without incident, but shortly after, scores of people faced off with authorities on a highway. Young protesters hurled stones and petrol bombs at security forces, who fired back with tear gas.
Overnight, Hermine smashed into Florida's Gulf Coast, making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane around 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time, dumping torrential rains and unleashing powerful winds of 80 miles per hour. The first hurricanes to hit the state of Florida in more than a decade has already knocked out power to tens of thousands of people. Roads in Alligator Harbor have been torn apart. Massive storm surges, some projected to be up to 12 feet high, are pummeling coastal areas. Evacuations are underway in areas north of Tampa, where water has jumped over seawalls and started to push into homes.
I don't know the condition of my house. I don't know if it's flooded or if it isn't. It's really, really, really bad. Like, I've never seen it this bad before.
As Hermine churns northward,
the street is completely underwater.
It's soaking parts of Florida that have already seen close to 2 feet of rain over the last 3 days. Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency in 51 counties with 6,000 National Guardsmen on standby. He's urging everyone not to take any chances with this storm.
We can rebuild a home, we can rebuild a business, we cannot rebuild your life.
A powerful earthquake rattled central Oklahoma Saturday. The magnitude 5.6 quake centered near the city of Pawnee tied a state record and was felt in 7 states. It also renewed concerns about the disposal of wastewater from oil and gas production, which has been linked to the recent outbreak of quakes in Oklahoma.
The facade came down off this old building here on 6th Street.
Bricks and debris from historical buildings in Pawnee, Oklahoma cover the sidewalks. This small city is the latest epicenter of concern over Oklahoma's oil and gas industry.
It was bad. The whole thing was just going like this. It was bad.
In 2015, Oklahoma averaged 2.5 earthquakes a day with a magnitude of 3.0 or higher. A total of 907 at that rating shook the state last year, compared to just 2 in 2008. Oklahoma Geological Survey experts have connected the increase in quakes to the disposal of wastewater from an oil and gas production process known as hydraulic fracturing or fracking. Saturday's quake prompted the state to initiate the fastest and largest shutdown of wastewater wells in state history. 37 are scheduled to be closed.
If we stopped all the activity tomorrow, it's not like the earthquakes would stop tomorrow.
Seismologist Susan Huff of the U.S. Geological Survey says induced earthquakes, mainly caused by wastewater injection wells, aren't as severe as naturally caused ones. But that could change if Oklahoma and other states where fracking is booming don't take note.
Singapore has confirmed 27 more cases of locally transmitted Zika virus infection, bringing the total number to 242. Singapore's health ministry sends confirmed cases home to recuperate and advises the infected people to avoid being bitten by mosquitoes. The ministry added that people suspected of having been infected with Zika are currently quarantined as they wait for the test results, while those found to be Zika positive are hospitalized.
Afghan officials said twin bombings in the capital Kabul have killed at least 24 people. A public health ministry spokesman said another 91 people were wounded in Monday's attacks. The Taliban has claimed responsibility. The first blast hit a crowded area near the defense ministry, a market, and main intersection. Army, police, and civilians rushed to help victims of the first blast and were caught in the second explosion, triggered by a suicide bomber. The attacks come less than 2 weeks after gunmen killed 13 people at the American University in Kabul. And in July, Islamic State claimed responsibility for suicide bombing that killed at least 80 people at a demonstration in Kabul.
Brazilian police forces have clashed with demonstrators who have taken to the streets of Sao Paulo to show their opposition to the new president, Michel Temer.
The coup d'etat that is happening in our country is not only to remove an elected president, but is against the majority of the Brazilian people.
Police used water cannons, tear gas, and stun grenades to confront thousands of angry protesters who called for immediate resignation of Temer. Several injuries and arrests were reported. A similar rally was also held in the capital city of Brasilia. Temer officially took office on August the 31st after a Senate vote removed former President Dilma Rousseff over charges of abusing power and financial fraud. She has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing.
The Democratic People's Republic of Korea has fired 3 ballistic missiles into the Sea of Japan from Hyunju County in North Hwanggi Province. South Korea's news agency Yonhap, quoting the country's Joint Chiefs of Staff, said that the launches took place at around 12:14 p.m. local time. South Korea's military say all 3 missiles were medium-range Rodon-class missiles, which have a maximum range of 1,000 kilometers. And it was said that the latest test is believed to have traveled about 1,000 kilometers.
Along the Jersey Shore overnight, Hermine whipped up strong waves. At sea, the choppy waters rocked this Royal Caribbean cruise ship headed from New Jersey to Bermuda.
When you see the crew on a cruise ship starting to get dizzy and sick, then you know it's gotten pretty bad.
Derek Biederman was one of around 6,000 people on board the ship during the storm.
It got pretty wicked somewhere around maybe 1 o'clock a.m. The whole boat started rocking. People started getting sick. They started distributing vomit bags around, and it's been a pretty interesting adventure ever since.
The deadly storm made landfall last Friday as a Category 1 hurricane. It's already hammered coastal areas stretching from Florida to Virginia, knocking out power for hundreds of thousands and causing widespread damage. It's now targeting the eastern seaboard from Maryland to Massachusetts.
Well, there's no way I'd want to be out here after today. The next couple days, you want to be anywhere near this place.
Governor Chris Christie says Hermine won't come close to having the same destructive power as Superstorm Sandy in 2012. Still, he's urging people not to take any chances.
Rip currents are going to get fairly aggressive. We don't want to see people have injuries or loss of life because of going into the ocean in dangerous conditions.
Russian astronomers may have picked up a crucial clue about whether there are aliens living just 94 light years away from Earth. Astronomers detected a 2-second burst of radio waves coming from a star in the constellation Hercules. Scientists have now been watching that spot very closely, but so far they haven't seen any other signs of life, if you will. I'm joined now by CBS News contributor and theoretical physicist Michio Kaku to talk all about this. So, Michio, what was so distinctive about this sound?
Well, in Russia, jaws hit the floor when they picked up this signal. It's a gigantic signal, greater than anything we've seen so far, and it seemed to be from an intelligent civilization thousands of years more advanced than us. That was the strength of that signal over a distance of 94 light years.
So because it was so strong, the theory was only a civilization more advanced than us would have the power to send such a strong signal.
Exactly. In other words, this could change human history. Every single textbook on the planet Earth would have to be rewritten if this panned out. And that's why they published it. Usually, of course, astronomers snicker and they giggle when somebody comes up with something like this. This time they took it seriously for publication. Now they're beginning to backtrack a bit. But look, it's so important that it deserves serious study.
Okay, so serious study is good. So that's one side of the argument. You said now they're beginning to backtrack a bit. What's the other side of the argument? What are the other possibilities here?
Well, just remember that a lot of false signals come in. For example, last year, another false signal came in. It turns out there were bursts, random bursts of radiation, and they tracked it down to a microwave oven. When you open up a microwave oven, the radiation actually interfered with the radio telescopes, and that explained the random blips when people would open.
Someone's making a popcorn at 2 in the morning, and it picks up that beep or whatever.
That's right. That's how sensitive these instruments are.
Yeah.
But you see, the stakes are so high that you have to take it seriously, even if it is a microwave oven, because it could change human history, our role in the universe. This is bigger than the discovery of a new world. This is the beginning of a discovery of a new civilization in outer space.
So talk to me about Hercules. How far away is it? I mean, is there a possibility that there could be a civilization out there?
It turns out that when you look at the constellation Hercules, you look at this particular star, there is a Jupiter-sized planet there going around a star that looks very similar to our sun. And if there's a solar system and it includes a Jupiter, why not an Earth? That's why they took it seriously. If there were no planets there, you would probably say, that's a spurious signal. But there was a planet going around a sun-like star in that area. And that's why they said, we can't take the chance that this is simply a spurious signal. We got to publish.
We got to publish. Okay, so then what happens next? How do they go about this investigation?
Well, you can imagine, all around the world, anyone with a radio telescope has now been zeroing in on the Hercules constellation. And so far, nothing. So far, no one has picked up a second blip. See, science is based on what is reproducible, testable, and falsifiable. You have to have a second blip before you can justify saying that it's an extraterrestrial civilization. ET has to phone home at least twice in order to make sure that it is not a spurious signal.
Well, I suppose we'll keep listening to the stars, and one never knows, right?
Yeah, but look, hey, the true blue faithful, the Star Trek fans out there, I mean, they're convinced there's somebody out there. And the question is, are they looking back at us, wondering whether there's intelligent life on the Earth? Well, we know the answer to that. There's no intelligent life on the Earth.
Yeah, let's not even open up that book. That's too much. Michio Kaku, thank you so much.